Today we're going to be installing the new RC all-wheel drive brushless motor with 2-speed transmission into the TRX4M. This is a pre-assembled drop-in and go upgrade for the TRX4M. You will need to overhaul your radio system, as you will need a 3-channel radio to operate the shift servo. We had 2 different motors to choose from. It comes with a bunch of accessories to help mount this up and utilize different batteries, and it also comes with a 30-amp brushless ESC. This is a pricey upgrade at right around $200 for this setup, but we're going to throw it in Axle's Defender here and see if the performance is worth it. All right, guys, let's take a look at this thing. So here's what comes in the kit. You get the ESC, get some sliders. This is going to help us relocate our electronics here. We get a variety of different battery connectors. Not a lot of hardware. I'm assuming that it utilizes most of the stock hardware. Let's take a look at the unit here. Man, this thing is big and heavy. Full metal gears throughout here. There's a lot going on mechanically. We got an aluminum skid as well, so this would just drop right in. Weight on this, according to my scales, was right around 135 grams. We have a brushless outrunner style motor here. There are 2 different kV options. There's a 2800 kV and a 3500 kV. We have the latter here. Small price difference between the two, with the 3500 being a little bit more. I think it's about $10 more. It comes fully built right out of the package, just like this, ready to drop in. I'm not sure what the ratios are on the transmission. I do know that it's full metal gears and bearings throughout. We have the micro servo already bolted up here for our shifting. Like I mentioned in the intro, we will need to upgrade our radio system. This needs a 3-channel radio system to operate the electronic shifting. You're going to have to overhaul your electronics anyway, because the Traxxas system will not accept an aftermarket brushless setup. So I'm going to overhaul that anyway. It is nice looking. You know, it's got this aluminum casing on it. The red aluminum motor mount, got the red brushless outrunner system. RC all-wheel drive does a good job visually with their upgrades, and this one is no exception. Man, it is big. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around the size of this thing. It's going to go in Axle's Defender. Look at compared to the stock setup, the thing is massive. I'm going to have to remove that cross brace to get this in there, because I can see I'm going to have some clearance issues there. This is running the Endura Universal TRX4M chassis, so I think I can take that cross brace out, move it to the front, fit that in there, I hope. Let's look at the ESC. So it does come with this aluminum cased 30 amp ESC. The whole system, RC all-wheel drive says, is waterproof and also sand resistant. I'm always hesitant about waterproof in an outrunner motor, but that's what they say on the website. I believe it with the ESC because it has this nice aluminum case here. No tuning capability that I'm aware of. I also don't have specs on what the BEC output is or any in-depth information on the ESC. From what I saw on the website, it just said that it was a 30 amp brushless ESC. All right, guys, check it out. We are pretty much installed here. We just took some elbow grease, but there it is. Look how big that thing is in that chassis. My Lord. It does have to be rear facing. As one thing, I thought it was front facing, but it is not. It is rear facing by default. All right, guys, takeaway number 2 here. If you want to use the supplied sliders, the stock hardware or the supplied hardware will not work. You're going to need to source your own longer hardware, because they don't reach all the way through into the other side of the skid to thread. Well, here we are. We got it installed. It's all in there and operating. But you'll notice it's not moving. It's because what I'm finding is it's incompatible with these stock drive shafts. The CVD drive shafts, the head on these is too big, and I was getting binding up against the skid plate. The O-ring from the CVD is jammed right up against that transmission casing. So not only am I getting interference on the shaft side, that is just lock solid on there against the back side of the transmission here. So I got to source some drive shafts to see if I can get this operational. All right, guys, so come to find out, it wasn't the drive shaft itself, although it might have been, because there's not a lot of clearance in here. But what's happening is that there's not enough room on the output shaft on the transmission to get the drive shaft screwed on. When I jam it on there tight enough and I force a bolt through there, it binds up against the transmission case and seizes the whole system up. So I don't know what I'm going to do here, if I'm going to drill this out a little bit more, sand down my drive shafts. I don't know, but this right here, this front output shaft, is causing me a lot of headaches. All right, guys, here we are about 4 hours later. I got this thing situated It is currently two-wheel drive because I cannot get a drive shaft to work on the front. Actually, I flipped the motor around because the skid is kind of universal for the motor. So I flipped the motor around. You can see it's forward facing now, which I prefer. I was able to get my cross brace back in there. It fits a lot better this way. But I was able to get the rear shaft on there, no problem, which was in the front where I was having my issues first. I also tried multiple Endura drive shafts that I had, and I could not get any of them to work. And I wonder if I get the rear on there, if it pulls it enough to where that shaft is pulled in a little bit more. I don't know, but regardless, I tried multiple drive shaft combinations here, could not get a combination to work. So we're in two-wheel drive. That being said, it is functional. It is in there. It is large. I watched other videos of this, Money Pit RC, Do You RC, both of them had this combo in there and did a video. Rob from Do You RC had similar issues with the output shafts on the transmission. I didn't see that Zach had issues with that. Rob was able to get his to work with an Endura drive shaft, but mine, man, just could not work. And it didn't seem like Zach had any issues with drive shafts. So that opens up another question, which is about quality control. If there's so much variability between just the three units, that's a little bit concerning as well. But with the thing in here, it does fit. It is a good bolt-in. You lose your battery tray. That is one thing that you get rid of. I opted to utilize the sliders here so I could put some Velcro on the driver's side slider. Put in my little Gen Zeiss battery there. It just works just fine. There's a variety of different plugs here. They've got a bunch of different plugs for pretty much every battery except for the Traxxas battery, which again, you'll have to source a battery outside of the Traxxas one when you do this conversion. But the skid plate and everything did bolt up just fine, no issues there. So it's in there. Let's check it out. So it is a default high speed because this is Axel's truck and he loves to go fast. So it's default high speed. I've got this set up on a momentary switch. So you press and hold and then it goes into low gear. Now I also had issues with the shift arm. What was happening is when I'd switch into low gear, the shift arm was hitting the skid plate and would not engage all the way. Another thing Rob also had issues with. So what I had to do was bend the outer metal part of my shift arm so that it could clear the skid plate. With that done, we are finally operational. So this is low gear right here. It's got good slow crawl, but one thing, it does have a wicked hitch when you get through a certain throttle percentage. See it jump right there. Very much like that FuryTech FOC range when you jump out of there, but it's a noticeable jerk when you get past that throttle range. Nice and smooth up until that point, but then jumps right there. It's also a lot of slack in the drivetrain. You see when I go backwards to forwards, watch how many rotations that motor makes before the drivetrain starts to move. There's a lot. There's a lot of slack in there to pick up. See that with two-speed transmissions like the CR18P, very similar. It's got quite a bit of wheel speed. It's hard to see with it spins, but it is peppy. It does have a lot of power. This is the bigger motor, so it does have a fair amount of wheel speed. Axel's going to have fun with this. I wish I could get the front to work. Hopefully I can find a drive shaft combo to work. Right now it's just burnout machine. All right, let's see if I can get some demonstrations for you guys, even though I'm in two-wheel drive. Let's see. This is high gear. Switch it down to low. You see that outrunner in there spinning. It does look good in there. Hard to do slow speed with one hand. Get that hitch there. Two-wheel drive. It is noisy too. I don't know if that translates on camera, but it's a lot of noise coming from that gearbox, which again, you're going to get when you got a lot of gears moving around like this. I don't have the grip to do much here. Oh, super slow. Right off and then you get that hitch, which is a bummer. And the power to send it though. Oh, I also don't know if this is 2 or 3S capable. I'm running the 2S in it. Could try the 3. It doesn't, I didn't see in the specs on the webpage if it was 2 or if it was 3S capable or not. Really too bad I couldn't get that front wheel drive work, and I really want to see how this thing crawls. Take advantage of that slow speed. It feels like it's got tons of torque. That big motor, I got the 3500 kV motor in it. It's got lots of power. I just can't do anything with it. So to put it in low gear, buddy, you hold that by the trigger. Use that switch on the side. Press and hold that. Think about the speed. It's not that fast, is it? I thought it was going to be faster getting up there in the open. Pretty similar to what we had with the stock gears and the Endura motor, I think. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. There's really just not a whole lot that I can demonstrate for you in two-wheel drive. Hopefully, if I can get a drive shaft that will work on this, get four-wheel drive engaged, we'll really be able to see what this thing's capable of. I think it's got potential. That two-speed transmission, that nice torquey low gear. I think it would have a lot of capabilities. We just got to get it into a place where I can actually capitalize on that. Now, let's talk about this thing. Now, you guys know I got love for RC all-wheel drive. They've been with me since the beginning. They were my first sponsor when I got into the mini crawler game and the channel really started to take off. And they've been with me ever since. I've used a ton of their products and other builds. With that said, we got some work to do on this kit. For $200+, which is more than the truck that this is going to be going in, you would expect this to be a drop-in, plug-and-play, big performance game. And I think it could be. But the issues that we ran into, which is the shift arm hitting the skid plate, the output shaft being too short, really dampened the enthusiasm on this otherwise really cool upgrade. If you're going to be spending more money on the upgrade than the truck that you're putting it in, the expectations are going to be up here, and the quality and fit and finish of this kit just doesn't get there. It'd be another thing if there wasn't a lot of competition in the brushless motor segment, but there is. You can spend significantly less money and get a higher quality brushless system. The size of this setup is also going to narrow the market as well. This is not going to be something you're going to put in like a comp crawler high performance build just because of the mass of it. It's huge. It will work very well in a scale and trail truck like the Defender here. It's perfect, fits in there really nice. So in that regard, it'd be really nice to have the low speed crawling ability, switch it into high gear when you want more wheel speed and have some more fun. It's going to be great for axle when this thing is up and running. So I hope that RC all-wheel drive can take this constructive criticism, go back to the drawing board a little bit with this system, fine tune it a little bit, address the quality concerns, maybe give us some sort of tuning ability or at least smooth out the power delivery from that ESC. Then I think we'd have a better upgrade on our hands here. But as it is right now, it's hard to recommend this at the $200 price tag that it comes with. So guys, stay tuned. Hopefully I can source a drive shaft and get this thing fully operational, and then I'll do some more content at that point. I will put a link in the description down below if you want to pick up one of these, if you want to give it a try for yourself. And remember, you can use my discount code to save 5% on all things at RCAWDrive.com. But guys, let me know your thoughts down below as well. What do you think of this combo for the TRX4M? And as always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you in the next video.